Welcome, everyone. I want to take you on a healing journey of my new show called The Valley. The Valley is a sunken mindset that affects/effects an individual emotionally, physically, psychologically, and spiritually. Being in the valley can affect how a person sees themselves, how they see the world. Feeling safe and seen is something I've always struggled with, so I wanted to create an environment/platform where all people could feel safe and feel seen. The objective is to come out of the valley, but not without doing the work. You have to fight for it. What choice will you choose when freedom is on the other side awaiting you? Welcome everybody back to the podcast, The Valley. Listen, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification button so that way you guys can know when the videos are coming out. Number 2, listen, I have an amazing book that's out now, and it's called Trauma Healed People Heal People. The work is in the healing. Make sure you guys hit the link is in the description, or you guys can go to Barnes & Nobles or Amazon.com. And number 3, listen, I have a movie in a series called Hurt People, Bitter and Broken, and it's also on this YouTube channel. So when you guys click out of this episode, you guys can go watch season 1 to season 3. So listen, you guys, I'm excited because I have one of my close friends, Taj. So I just wanted to first off, I wanted to say thank you for being here. You get what I'm saying? This is amazing. I just got off of work, y'all. You get what I mean? So it's just it was the first day back at school. You get what I'm saying? Teaching. So I've been teaching for 14 years, but this is my second year being a lead teacher. Mm-hmm. So it's overwhelming, but it's a blessing too. Absolutely. I wanted to start off with a scripture, if that's okay with you. Okay. So I want to start off with Philippians chapter 4, 6, and 7. And it says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, with everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So was one of the scriptures that I chose. So I wanted to talk about, me and you talked or whatever, just about mental health, right? Yeah. And I think that's important because a lot of people don't talk about mental health enough. I think back in the day, you remember when you seen Pookie and them, they come to the cookouts, they drunk, they cutting up, and it just always was oh, that's just Pookie. But then what I realized is as you got older, you're realizing it's this big thing on mental health. And I'm, to be honest with you, not trying to be ignorant, I didn't really know much about that in the black community. I always thought, as a kid, other races struggle with it. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? But now, like I said, realizing Cousin Pookie always coming in the cookout drunk and, belligerent.
Fighting demons.
Exactly. So it's just I realized I felt like this was so appropriate to have this conversation with you because matter of fact, let me just rewind. How are you, first of all? Just checking in. How are you? How do you feel overall? Because sometimes or whatever, and I noticed this with myself. I had told myself, I was like, you know what? I need to start, before I even go into the questionings, of course, do my scripture, but start asking my guests, first, let me check in with them. You feel me? Because I know that I told my guests previously, I had read this book by Michelle Williams, A Destiny Child, called Checking In. Mm-hmm. And it really blessed my life. You get what I'm saying? She's talking about at the height of her career, how she was depressed. And then some people might say, how can you have all of these great things and still be, in the valley, essentially, in your mind? But all of those things doesn't matter if you're not healthy in your mind. Correct. So it challenged me in my outlook, and also just to be you know what? Let me start checking in. Let me start reaching out. You get what I mean? So, and she talked about her mental health. You get what I mean? And my podcast that I'm doing is a healing journey. Correct. You get what I mean? I'm on a healing journey. So I'm taking people a part of my journey. They're with me. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, how is Taj doing? How are you? Checking in with my friend Taj. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Honestly, how do you feel?
I'm just going with the flow, honestly. I'm just going with the flow.
What does that look like, basically, for you? Going with the flow.
Not putting resistance on anything, just taking it as it comes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Wow. So what do you feel So I have some things or whatever that I wanted to talk about. We're gonna talk about mental health. We're gonna talk about bipolar, all of those things. It says in 2023, it is reported that 46 million people around the world have this disease, including 2.8 of the U.S. population. That's a lot of people. You get what I'm saying? Struggling with the bipolar disorder.
And that's just documented. That's on the record.
Right.
So imagine off the record.
Right, exactly. It says that about 15 to 17% commit suicide, right? And then defining what bipolar is, it's previously known as a manic depression. Is that right?
So you have mania and then you have depression. So
can you...
what I suffered from was mania. I would have these manic episodes where I'll just deal with grandiosity, deal with rage. I just felt like I was like on top of the world. Like I'll shop, I'll spend unnecessary money, like I'll drink. It was a whole lot of stuff. Like a whole lot of stuff contributes to it.
So like when somebody's going through a manic episode, do they know it's coming on, or is it just something that just go from 0 to 100?
It's 0 to 100.
Wow.
No in between. No in between. And then when you finally come down, you feel crazy.
Really?
You feel crazy. Absolutely. It feels like that's it. It's the end of the world.
Wow. And I just wanted to tell you, like, just, even doing this episode, just how brave, I felt like how brave you was. And I remember you was just saying, we're going to say mental health. Mental health.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Just taking the negative connotation out of it.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you educating me then and also educating me now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you could live through it. You get what I mean? And you're living through it.
And you can overcome it as well.
Okay, I know that's right. So I know that there's different types.
Yeah.
Because remember, I was like, Taj, just 3. And you was just like, no.
It's just 2. It's bipolar 1 and bipolar 2.
Okay.
One is the manic, the high, and one is the low, the depression.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where does anxiety fall in with depression? I mean, with bipolar? Is it a part, like if a person has anxiety, are they necessarily depressed, or is it separate, or like how would you describe it?
I think it fluctuates. It depends on the person, because I had the combination of the manic episodes and the anxiousness.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you know, like, in your life, like, okay, something was wrong? Like,
I actually didn't identify it. My parents did. I was 14, and I was just doing things, I wouldn't say out of the ordinary, but that just wasn't me. And they're like something going on. Like, it's something in her molecular structure that's just not clicking.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I ended up getting tested. At first, the doctor was like, I think she just spoiled. Like, she just can't take the word no, or she just don't like rejection. But it was definitely more to it.
How old was you?
I was 14.
Wow. So previously, like before that, you lived like a regular life, but then you would feel, is it something in your mind that you feel? Like, is it a rage? Is it like, what goes on in your mind?
Like, or I said,
at the time, what was going on in your mind?
You deal with rage. You deal with the mania, the grandiosity, which means that you make yourself feel more. Like, you make yourself feel more like you on top of the world. Yeah.
Do people that have bipolar, is it a lack of empathy?
No, absolutely not.
Some of the things that they do?
Not with me.
Okay, so every situation is different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you, at 14 years old, like, how did you feel? When did you have to, essentially, did you have to take medicine or not? Like, how did you feel?
I had to take medication. I probably took every med in the book that tries to slow down bipolar disorder.
What you mean, slow it down?
Or have some type of control on it. But I would take the medicine, but I wasn't putting the work in. You gotta do both. You can't take the medicine and not put the work in.
What's the work look like, basically?
Identifying how you're feeling, checking in with yourself, living with your emotions, going through your emotions. Because I know for me, I'm a very sensitive person. In order for me to move forward, I have to feel every single emotion in order to move forward. I can't just feel this and not feel that. Like, I have to feel everything.
Okay.
So it's really identifying your emotions and learning how to deal with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep. And even when you said you're sensitive, I'm sensitive.
I'm sensitive,
so
but people don't know that sensitivity
is
a superpower. It's real life a superpower, because it's just like, people like, oh, you sensitive, you cry all the time. But I'm crying because I feel pain. And the pain, it hardens us. So then that's when the masks come in.
Right.
Now I gotta pretend I don't care when I really do.
Right. And I feel like you gotta feel. You get what I'm saying? I think a lot of us, I don't know, like, and with this generation, it's just like, be pilled up, drink, smoke, sex, da-da-da-da-da. When you have to identify how you feel. Most people don't even know how they feel. They just rage or angry or just, I don't know. It's just, a lot of us don't really take the time out to feel. You get what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel? It's
Genuinely, like,
I don't even know if we say that to each other. Like, how are you doing? You get what I mean? And that's why I say I really appreciate you coming, because I know, off camera, it's been a trying week. You get what I mean? So
absolutely.
even when when I was texting you, when you called me yesterday, I was just like, is she gonna say she ain't gonna be able to make it? Because I know, and that's why I say I appreciate you showing up, because it's been a lot going on in your world. You get what I'm saying? So for you to be like, all right, I'm gonna just show up or whatever, and I'm gonna do this, like, I really commend you or whatever. And I just appreciate the relationship where it's evolving to. I appreciate that we're able to have conversations. And I just want to say, like, before we go to the next question, like, I feel like this relationship or whatever, sometimes, and this friendship, sometimes I just be like, I don't know, because I know that my life is different now. I know that I don't drink no more. I know that I have given my life to God. And I know that, we're not walking in the same way, as far as like, you're not living for God or whatever. You're not, you still drink, you still do certain things. But what I love is that in spite of it all, like, you still accept me for who I am. You get what I'm saying? And it's just like, and I'm, as your friend, I'm like, you can still come to church, you know what I'm saying? Like, what I mean? Only because I want the best for you, you get what I'm saying? But even when we went to Miami, I'm like, you want to go? And you were just like, no. And it was just
I did go to Miami.
No, I'm saying church. When we went to Miami for my birthday,
I was in recovery.
I went to, church on my birthday. I know maybe some people that go on vacation, I go to church when I'm on vacation. So I remember you was just like, I'm not going to go. And I'm just like, okay. I never forced you. And that was the one of the things, too, you said, like, and maybe we'll probably definitely do another episode. You was like, listen, long as you ain't throwing no Bible at me, you get what I'm saying? We cool. You get what I mean? And that's what I love, like I said, about our relationship is like, little, I know what you believe in. This is the way I'm living now, but it doesn't stop anything. Like, I don't feel like you're pressuring me like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. I'm like, nah, Taj, like, I live different. So that's why I say I appreciate the friendship. I appreciate how you show up for my sister. You feel what I'm saying? I appreciate for how you showed up for my brother. You get what I'm saying? Like, regardless of the outcome and all of that stuff or whatever, which is your business that, we won't talk about on camera. But I do appreciate how you showed up for my family. You gave my mom flowers, roses out of the blue. You get what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate that. So I just wanted to tell you, you get what I'm saying, the friendship that I have with you, we might have our ups and downs or whatever, but, if you're willing, then, I don't want to give up on the friendship. You get what I'm saying? Like, I want us to stay locked in, you get what I'm saying? Like, through relationships, you've been there. I've been there for you in relationships, you feel what I'm saying? So I appreciate that, and I love that, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to judge you or whatever based on, like, as far as, like you said, having struggled with this, we're talking about mental health or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, you're still a person. I'm a person. I told you that in when I was in elementary school or whatever, they wanted to put me in special education because I drift off. Even to this day, as an adult, I still drift off. You get what I mean? And I'm just so grateful. And I want to tell y'all out there, please advocate for your kids. You get what I'm saying? Because for me, being that I was drifting off, they just wanted to put me in special ed. And I just, honestly, if they would have put me in special education, mind you, when I got to school and I was in high school, I wound up going to a different school, a faith Christian school. That's why I say God is so good, because God know what he doing. They wound up taking me out of a school, put me in a Christian school. That's where I learned about God.
Okay.
And then also, it challenged me. And I did struggle with reading and writing, right? It's crazy. Now I'm a writer. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But guess what? I was listening to, shout out to Dr. I forgot his name or whatever, but his name, he's a YouTube a guy. He's a preacher.
Okay.
He's on YouTube. I can't get his name right now because sometimes I'll be thinking fast. I mean, talking fast, and then my mind can't catch up. But he's a pastor that had passed away in a plane crash years ago. So recently I've been listening to him. He talked about sometimes when you have vision and you have dreams, sometimes you can't tell people your dreams and visions because they will abort your baby. You get what I'm saying? And I had to realize, like, sometimes I had dreams about children. I'll be like, oh, I'm about to be a dad. But sometimes it might not necessarily be that God is I'm about to be a father, but it might be something that's deep down inside of me that needs to be birthed. And he talked about how the things that's inside of you, like, it is already in you. You feel
Absolutely.
me?
The answers are definitely within.
It's already in you. So he talked about, look, how the seeds that become a tree.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? The seeds is already in the tree. You feel what I'm saying?
It's literally like planting real seeds. Every time you plant a seed, you're not going to keep checking it every 5 seconds, every 5 days. You're going to wait until you see some type of progress. You're not going to dig it back up because you don't see nothing.
Exactly. So I was just like, dang, it's already in me. So it's just like, it's certain things. It took my best friend to pass away, to hurt people to came, you get what I mean, to come out. So it's still things that's inside of me that I don't even know. And when the time is right, you know, those things that be birthed. You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
But if you allow people to kill your dream, abort your baby, they will, essentially.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to ask, like, what would you say to anybody out there or whatever that's struggling or whatever with bipolar, with anxiety, with any type of mental disorder? Like, do you feel like it's important if people needed to take medication, like if they really need it?
I wouldn't say go out there, go take the medication, because present day I don't take medication. But what I will say is journal, write it down, talk to your friends, talk to your parents, talk to your family, get it out.
Seek therapy, I would think.
Therapy, even if you want to go see a therapist, go see a therapist. But talk about what's on your mind for sure. If you got to talk about it or write it, I feel like that's the best route to go.
Right. But if a person severe, like really needed it, you would say
as far as medication?
Yeah.
Like if they need go seek a doctor if you have to.
Yeah. Because I think there's a lot of people, I would say, I mean, I don't have, you know, any mental illness or whatever, as far as I know. You get what I mean? But I would say that there's people in this life that really, really needs it. And then they might drink it away. And smoke it away,
sex it away, shop it away.
Exactly.
That's the mania.
That's the mania.
That's manic behavior.
When people start drinking it.
Drinking, smoking, promiscuity, like all of that. That's manic behavior.
Wow. And what can they do to stop the manic episodes? Is it the medicine, or is it the self-reflection? Is it the therapy? Is it the...
Only you can stop yourself. Like, that's all there is to it.
So a person
you gotta be tired. You gotta be done with it. Like, nobody else could stop you but you. Right. And for a long time, I really was my own worst enemy. Self-sabotaging, like, yeah, bad. So yeah, the answers are within.
Why do you feel like you were self-sabotaging?
Because it was a denial thing. You don't want to accept it. Nobody wants to accept their flaws or be vulnerable. Like, nah.
And that was so crazy because I remember when me and you was talking, we had a heart-to-heart or whatever, and I was just like, why you ain't telling me? And you was like, no, you're not going to use this again. But I think it was the history.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because my thing is, at the end of the day, I'm not going to never use that against you. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we all have flaws. We all struggle with something.
Yeah.
What yours may look like X, Y, and Z. Mine may look like X, Y, and Z. So at the end of the day, nobody really has any room to really judge anybody because we all are flawed. You get what I'm saying? What do you feel like? When was the moment for you, Taj, that you were just like, I can't keep drinking it away. I can't keep doing X, Y, and Z. I can't keep masking, and I need to go do the work? Because remember when we was back in the day, we used to be chilling, we used to be turning up, and I don't know if I told you guys or whatever, I probably did in the first episode. So today, well, probably yesterday, but it makes 2 years since I've been sober, you know, from any alcohol or whatever. I don't do drugs or whatever. You know, I don't even like hookah, none of that stuff, you feel me?
Right.
But I'm really, really grateful, you guys, for the journey, because there was a time where it was challenging. I wouldn't say that I ever was a person that drank every day, but I would say that it became an issue. You get what I'm saying? Where I'm partying every weekend. You feel what I'm saying? So I just felt like it was too much. And then, you know, when I talk to certain people, they be like, it wasn't even that bad. But for me, it was my valley. You get what I'm saying? It was my valley.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm 2 years clean, y'all, or whatever, and 2 years abstinent too.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yo, that's been tough. I'm not gonna lie. I've been having to go to God, you feel what I'm saying? And that's another thing. When I gave God over my life this time around, I just knew I was still gonna be having sex. You get what I'm saying? Like, for real, I'm like, look, ain't nobody perfect. But for him to really be walking with me and giving me the self-control and helping me, I'm just telling y'all, it's all possible through God.
It's the discipline.
The discipline, yeah.
Very
you get
important.
what I mean? So, it's important. So, when did you, like, so you said you was tired, you said, essentially?
I realized, like, this is not going to work when it started affecting me as a parent. Because I have a little girl. And she watches my every move. Right, wrong, or indifferent. She doesn't see me in no negative light. So once I seen that it started affecting my parenting, that's when I'm like, something has to change.
Right. Hey, Tiff.
Hey.
You want to come on camera? Comes Asmar. You want to say hi to the camera?
Hello.
So anyway, whatever. I would say, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes it. I love that.
When it started affecting me as a mother, that's when I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
For sure. What does the average day look like for you?
Now?
Asmar, look, y'all gotta be quiet. Like, no noise.
Now,
Okay.
present day, I live a pretty normal life now. I still deal with F&E's, feelings and emotions. I'm still living through them. It's just one day at a time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember before me and you was just talking about, did we feel like it's something that is hereditary? Is it something that could be passed down, or, you know?
Well, I'm not a doctor, so I can't really speak on that in depth. But I feel like people that have a history, like in their family, you know, it could happen down the line. But I can't speak on it if it's hereditary or not, because at this present day, I don't feel like my daughter is going to struggle with that, because I plant those positive seeds in her. My parents plant those positive seeds in her, and we're going to watch them grow. But I can't tell you yes or no as far as hereditary. But that is a question when you're getting a psych evaluation. They'll ask you, like, does your parents suffer from mental illness? Does your uncles, aunts? They do ask those type of questions, but I don't know.
Yeah, because I know, like, sometimes or whatever I hear, like, people say, like, the grandmother had it, and then it might skip a generation, then the son might have it, and then the grandchild. So I always thought that was, like, interesting, like, to know. Tell me, like, a valley moment that you've had before.
I've had a lot of valley moments.
Like, just mention one, and how was you able to, like, you know.
I mean, I don't know. I deal with obstacles every day. But one thing I will say is I allow myself to make 3 major decisions a day. Like, I don't try to overwhelm myself with stuff. Like, once it gets past 3, I wait till the next day to make another decision. Like, I try not to overwhelm myself. But as far as the valley moment, I've had a lot. I don't know. I think it's the outcome.
Does anyone, like, stick out?
Not really.
Okay. So what was it? You said something about as far as being a mom.
Yeah.
So it was important for you to be a good mom.
Absolutely.
So when you felt like, yeah. So what was that? Like you said, it was something that you felt like how your life, you felt like it was affecting you being a good mom.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there'll be times where I wouldn't even want to get out of bed. My daughter got to eat. My daughter has to be tend to. So it's times where I was just so, like, in a dark place that I couldn't operate, and it affected everyone around me, especially my daughter.
Shout out to the parents.
Shout out to the parents.
Mom and dad.
Shout out to the parents
for helping.
Those
and because it take a village.
Yeah.
Right? It take a village, but we gotta also know when we need help.
And some people are scared to ask for help.
Yeah.
At first I was too.
Remember I was just talking to you and I was just saying, like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gotta do this podcast and, you know what I'm saying, I gotta do this stuff by myself, and how I'd want a team of people, like, but at the end of the day, it's just like, I want that. So I put that out there and I pray, God, listen, I want other people that could come, assist me, help. But until then, guess what? I'm going to have to get on social media. I'm going to have to do what I got to do. But knowing when you need help.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's the thing. Sometimes we got to know when we need help. We got to know when we are in the valley. We do have a dark moment. Like, yo, reach out for help. You know, somebody that you feel like not going to judge you. You get what I'm saying? Somebody that you know that's going to be there for you. Like, and hopefully we have those people. What do you feel like has helped you come out of the valley? Like, do you feel like it's your parents? Do you feel like it's because you've done the work? Do you feel like it's your friends? Do you feel like it's work? Do you feel like it's journaling? Do you feel like it's a relationship? Like, what do you feel like helped you come out of the valley? Or are you out of the valley?
I think it's a combination of things. I think it does have to do with my parents, my daughter, but it also has to do with me. Like, I'm starting to find the answers within me.
Yeah.
Instead of looking for them and other people and other things and other places, it all starts with me.
Okay.
So it's more so like setting my intentions, living with good intentions, like knowing that life is really not a rehearsal. Like,
Right.
yeah.
That makes sense. How important do you think therapy is?
It's very important. We talked about that. It's
Would
important.
you do it or have you
I've done it. Currently I have a therapist.
You do?
I do.
That's what's up.
It's virtual, but I have a therapist.
Okay.
Yes.
So once a week?
Yeah.
Twice a week?
No, it's once a week.
Okay.
Yeah, I check in with him for an hour.
Okay.
He'll email me different coping skills. Yeah. Therapists are important.
Okay.
Shout out to them.
And you know what I would say? Sometimes people might be like, I had a negative connotation to therapy when I was younger.
Okay.
Because you know what goes in the house stays in the house.
Okay.
So I just kind of felt like I don't want to tell them my business. You get what I'm saying? This is my younger self.
Okay.
And I think that and I always say this, and I'm probably gonna always say this. I understand what goes in the house stays in the house, but as you get older, you gotta realize like it's a lot of stuff that might be inside that you need to convey how you feeling. You get what I mean? Because you can explode. You can wind up taking that stuff out on the wrong people. So I always say something wrong with you if you don't talk to somebody.
Yeah,
if you don't
that's
seek
true.
therapy.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like, because it's so important. Even though they say therapists seek therapy, seek therapists. You get what I mean? You got to get
They
that
do.
stuff out of you. What do you feel like if you could talk to your younger self, like that one that was wild and the one that was in the valley, the one that was cutting up, you get what I'm saying? Like, what would you tell her? Like, what affirmations would you tell her? What would you tell her?
I'll tell her two things. I'll tell her that this is all temporary. This is not forever. This
Like,
is not
what is
endgame.
all temporary?
The feelings that you're feeling, the position that you're in, the people that you're around, it's all temporary. So don't get comfortable with it. And then I would tell her that her sensitivity is a superpower. It's really a gift. And don't let others dictate how you move.
Yeah. Any regrets? Like in the past?
Nope, because I wouldn't be who I am today.
And who would you say Taj is today?
Taj is a work in progress. Like this right now, this is therapy for me. Like this is helping me on my healing journey. Like this is much needed.
So you feel like you're on a healing journey also?
Absolutely.
That's what's
we
up.
all are.
Right.
Even if oneself doesn't recognize it, we are all on a healing journey.
Right. But we got to acknowledge. And one thing I always say, you got to do the work. You can't run from you.
Right.
I mean, you can.
But it's going to catch up to you. At that point, you're running a rat race. It's going to catch up to you.
Right.
No, you can't get away with anything. What happens in the dark always comes to the light.
So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, like, where do you see yourself? Or what do you want for Taj? Like, do you see yourself talking to other young women about mental health, bipolar, anxiety? Do you see yourself being an advocate?
For sure. I definitely want to talk to like younger girls. I see myself as an entrepreneur, running my own business, thriving with my daughter, just being happy, waking up with intentions, walking with joy.
What about as far as business? Any business?
Yeah, I just said I want to be an entrepreneur.
Okay, what kind?
I love food.
Okay.
So it will be something in the food industry.
Like what kind of food?
Sandwiches.
Oh,
Gourmet
okay.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
I love it.
Shout out to ShopRite. Shout out to your look, ShopRite. Don't come after my little
Right,
coins,
take a
all right?
break.
But and you just got a promotion.
Yes.
So that was good.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? And that's why I say shout out to your parents. You
My
get what I'm saying?
parents,
Just
very.
for really like being
My parents
there.
always knew I was a little different, and that's why I love them for real, because they always knew I was a little different. And they just stayed patient with me. As much as I knew they wanted to give up with me, they didn't.
And I'm
And
glad
that's
that
volumes.
they didn't give up on you. I'm glad that you didn't give up on you. I know we talked about in the future, we want to, have another episode where we talked about letting go. So just give us a little teaser.
Teaser?
Like, as far as like letting go, like essentially what? Like how, Cause I want to say this, even though we're gonna do a future episode on letting go, people, places, and things that essentially that does not serve us. You had to do some letting go of certain things
A lot.
in order for you to get to where you are now. What are some of the things that you feel like you had to let go?
I had to let go of certain emotions. I still experience them, but they're not as intense. I had to let go of certain people. I had to change my environment at one point. So yeah.
Yeah, how hard was that?
Very hard. I'm a very mutable person, but change is always hard or difficult. But I adjust. I don't compromise, but I adjust.
Yeah, that is so cool. This is like, it's real, like I said, it's dope because even for me, I would say, Taj, like, I'm the type of person that I was a kid growing up, very quiet. You get what I mean? So even the stuff that I'm doing now, it's a little surprising to me.
Why?
You get what I mean? Because I never, initially I just wanted to act. I want to act. And then the acting led to, the movie. And then the movie led to, I did the play and series. And then, you get what I'm saying? The other radio stuff that I do now, I'm doing my own podcast, The Valley. And this is really like my baby. And there's so many things that I want from people that's watching this. Of course, I want people to know who God is. I want people to heal. Like, those two things are my top things. Like, God, understanding who God is, knowing that God, without God, we're nothing. And I also wanted to say this, too, because in my other shows that I did, I know my dad said, he was just like, yo, family is everything. And I don't feel like family is everything. You need to have a relationship with your creator. You feel what I'm saying? And then my siblings and them, they had said something that was important too, but I kind of forgot what they had said. But I know that was one of the things. Family isn't everything. You get what I'm saying? Because when your family is gone or they're not there or don't show up in the way you want them to be, sometimes we have these like expectations because we label family. You get what I mean? So God gonna be there when nobody's there. And that's why I say God met
God
me
is
in the
everywhere.
valley. He's everywhere.
It's everywhere. He's everywhere. She's everywhere. God is everywhere.
Nah, shit.
I'm just saying, like, God is love. Like,
Yes.
God is
What do
everywhere.
you think, like, as far as just like, would you ever see yourself writing like a book?
I write. I've never written a book, but I write. But yeah, I would definitely write a book.
Yeah. About what?
Self-improvement.
Yeah, I love it.
Definitely.
love
Personal
it.
development.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I would say that, I give some hill work, right? And so and this is going to be for everybody.
Okay.
Right? It's pray more,
Okay.
worry less. I would say hill work / heart work.
Okay.
Okay? Get in, well, you're already doing it. I was going to say therapy, but you're already getting into it. I think that's why I said doing advocacy would be good, because then you might meet somebody, a younger you, and you'll be like, God, now I understand why I went through all of what I went through, because to help this young girl or this young man. So that's why I think it would be good for you to help other people who are maybe struggling in their mental health. You get what I
Right.
mean? Struggling with their, of course, surround yourself with people that bring out the best in you. You get what I mean? Like, we all know what it's like to be around people that don't serve us, that hurt us. You get what I mean? So that's important. Forgiveness. I always talk about forgiveness.
Important.
Like, I'm always going to be an advocate for forgiveness, because it's like when you don't forgive, it's like literally you giving poison to somebody else and expect them to die.
Yeah.
And people are going to go on with their life and live their life. You get what I mean? So I think that's really important. So, flowers. I give them their flowers, right? So my dad or whatever, I did something for him. So I think my flowers with you would be so more so. It fluctuates with different people. Sometimes I might say, hey, this is your flower. Like, my dad loved the Cowboys, so I gave him something. You get what I'm saying? And then other things, flowers may be quality time. You get what I'm saying? I feel like that with me and you, we need quality time. So I'm hoping or whatever soon. We talked about going to the spa or whatever. So I'm hoping that's something
we gotta just still do
that we could do or whatever together, and just focus on focus on the friendship, and also understanding that, guess what, people could be friends platonic. Is that the right terminology?
Platonic, yeah.
Platonic.
Yeah.
Where I don't want nothing from you, you don't want nothing from me. You get what I'm saying? In a sexual way. It's just like, listen, I could show up, you could be there in my life, and I don't want nothing from you. You my friend. Because sometimes people feel like men and women can't be friends.
Which is a lie.
Right, you can be
That's a
friends
lie.
and not
Like,
trying to play the
what?
side. You feel me? Like, yo, what's up? Like, none of that. Like, where it's genuinely like, yo, this is my friend.
Yeah.
You was there with me when I was at my lowest. You get what I'm saying? When
Yeah.
I was wilding out, and you know what I'm saying? And you're still there. And I never, remember I told you before or whatever, like, I didn't know if our friendship would stand the test of time, because I thought our friendship was based on
A trauma bond.
trauma bonding. I
Right.
thought our friendship was based on, oh, we turn up, this is what we do. And then I realized that it has survived past that, because I don't drink no more.
We
I
weathered
don't
the storm
party.
together, like, well.
And we still, so that's why
Yeah.
I say I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, I would love to pray us out.
Okay.
Letting our viewers, I want to let the viewers know whatever, you'll definitely be back, doing a couple of
Absolutely,
episodes
I'll
with me back. So I'm really, really excited about that. Everybody, get you a Taj, you feel what I'm saying, in your life. Because it's important. You get what I'm saying? Oh, your flowers, it's quality time. I feel like that's what we need, is quality time. You doing good. Like I said, I'm excited about your promotion. I want to see you grow. I want to see you cut, just like a flower or a rose. They got to come in every now and then to cut I'm pretty sure you've been at ShotRite. You've seen it. They got to cut some certain things off, I don't know if it's the stems or something, like the dead parts, for it to grow, for it to flourish.
Yeah.
So I just pray that you realize who's for you. You get what I'm saying? You make the necessary changes that you have to in your life. You get what I mean? So yeah. So I have a prayer that I found. It was on mental health.
Okay.
So I found this online. This is something that I've been trying to pray, because I'm like, God, I don't want to pray just about me, because it's not about me. Or I don't want to just pray to you about my family, because there's so many other people that's hurting and that need you. So help me. So sometimes I get so focused on praying for myself and my family that I'm like, God, help me to learn how to pray for other people. So this is a prayer for mental illness. And I really, like I said, I really hope this episode help somebody to realize it's okay. Like, everybody struggle. Nothing is wrong with you, as far as like, you're not crazy. Go get the help that you need, and that's okay.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? A prayer for mental illness. Dear God, I come to you with a heavy heart. I pray for those battling mental illness. I pray you give them strength to keep fighting. I pray they know that they are loved, wanted, and valued. I ask that you bring a community around them that is godly, loving, and understanding. I pray that they are able to get the help they need, providing them with the right tools to begin healing. God, I pray for their families who heart aches for their loved ones who are suffering. That's another one too. You get what I mean? Giving them the strength to keep fighting too. Be with those who are suffering and let them know that you are there. In Jesus' name. You guys can also read Ephesians 6:16 and 20. Taj, I want to thank you so much for coming. I look forward, you feel what I'm saying, to many of the more episodes that you're going to come on and do. I just feel like, let's heal the world. You get what I'm saying? Let's be world changers, generational curse breakers, pattern interrupters. You get what I'm saying? Let's do what we call here to do.
Absolutely.
Right? All right, you guys. So listen, I want everybody that's watching or whatever, make sure again that you guys hit the subscribe button and the notifications button, so that way you guys know when the episodes are airing. Again, make sure you guys get that book. And also make sure you check out the movie Hurt People, Bitter and Broken. Make sure you like. We love likes. I'll read the comments. Please comment. Please share, you guys, so that way other people can watch and everybody can see what's going on. I pray that you guys stay blessed, stay encouraged, stay faithful. I love you guys. Until next time. Hey everyone, I'm so excited to announce to you all that my first book, Trauma, Healed People, Heal People. The Work is in the Healing is available right now on barnesandnobles.com and amazon.com. Go get you a copy now. What are you waiting for?